begins with a flexible d3 opening by white, avoiding the sharp lines of mainstream theory. Black immediately counters with d5, aiming for center control, and white follows with e4, signaling an intent to challenge black's position early. Black develops the knight to c6, keeping pressure on the center, while white plays be3, preparing to support their pawn structure and complete development. The game enters tactical territory early when black captures the e4 pawn. White quickly recaptures on d4 with the queen, which is then traded for black's queen after qxd1 plus, kxd1. White's king is slightly exposed in the center, but the lack of queens mitigates immediate threats, and white gains flexibility in pawn structure. Black develops a knight to b4, threatening key squares on the queen side, while white plays c3, kicking the knight back to a6. This sequence gives white a slight spatial advantage, but black's knight remains active, ready to jump into the action later. White's nf3 is followed by nd2, aiming to stabilize the position and prepare for future activity. The critical moment comes when white sacrifices material for rapid development and active piece play with bxa7, luring black into complications. Black develops with nf6, and white aggressively pushes e5, forcing the knight to an awkward square. After b5+, white piles on pressure, and the subsequent exchanges result in a dynamic middle game where both sides have opportunities for tactical blows. Black castles queenside after c4, placing the rook on an open d-file to exert pressure on white's isolated pawns. The tension rises as white's king marches to the center, actively supporting the pawns. Black strikes back with bxf3+, forcing white to capture with the king and exposing it further. However, white's activity compensates for this vulnerability, and black's knights leap into action with nxf2 and nxh1, grabbing material but leaving coordination issues. White fights back with rh1, threatening counterplay against black's exposed position. The critical move, ne4, brings white's knight to the center, eyeing key squares and preparing tactical threats. Black pushes g5, attempting to open lines for an attack, but white's precise rd1 shifts the focus to the queen side. Black's a4 attempts to gain space, while white responds with c5, advancing the pawn chain and restricting black's knight. The position becomes highly imbalanced, with both sides creating threats. Black's final attempt with g4 opens attacking opportunities, but white's superior pawn structure and active pieces ensure victory as black resigns, facing insurmountable threats. This game showcases how dynamic play and active pieces can overcome material disadvantages. White's king walk, precise tactical sacrifices, and relentless activity against black's weaknesses highlight a masterclass in coordination and calculation.